We're going to be doing a little bit of a lane analysis here. This new segment of the show is just called This Week in Freight, powered by my friends over at DAT, where we break down a specific lane. This is all viewer submissions, all right? So if you want a lane that you are working on, or maybe you need more help reading the lane, I don't need any specifics, but like a shipping city, a delivery city, and weight, or excuse me, a trailer type. I don't need anything else from that. And then we break it down here on the show. Again, this is just my perspective on how I would go out there and assess this market to lock in long-term pricing from our customers, because market volatility, rate increases, decreases, everything, it's all part of the game, you guys. But like, our job is to find that baseline where we can consistently give a price to our shippers, so we can continue to win business from them. But we're going to be doing that here in a second. I always like to bring this up. It's just once a week, you guys. We do our weekly newsletter. It drops every single Wednesday. But I need you to go to my website to sign up for it, thefreightcoach.com. It will auto prompt you to register for it. It drops once a week. It's all market related. All right. So we have a data piece in there, you guys, so you guys can pay attention to some of the headlines going out there in the market as a whole. Diesel prices and a little bit of insight. It's all freight related, you guys. It comes in once a week. But like with all my content, I don't buy downloads or force people to sign up for it. So if you want in on it, go to thefreightcoach.com. If you don't, that's cool. You can just come onto the show and stare at my pretty face. But let's get into this here, you guys. I'm excited on this one because the reefer market is changing a little bit here, or is it a little too premature out there? And we are going to this lane today that was submitted is Nashville, Tennessee, going to Omaha, Nebraska. And at first, I was looking at this one, and I'm like, oh, this is the epitome, excuse me, of stability out there, right? Like if you look at the 1 year marker, 1640 is what it's showing out there. And the 7-day average is now at 1680. But this glaringly obvious rate spike that went in here, what happened during that time frame? And if any of you guys paid attention to the news, which I know it's very challenging to keep up with everything that's going on out there in the world right now, because there's a new headline every 0.4 seconds on why the world's going to end. But there was a pretty big snowstorm that was going on out there, and that's where you saw that spike, okay? And you can see it went up to like $2,500 on this lane is what some people were paying at that time. But again, it's starting to trend back down. So those are those anomalies I want people to pay attention to, because you could see that. And then if you're in the moment, you could snap quote a load and you're going to be a lot higher than everybody else out there, because again, this lane is the epitome of stability. And I want you to pay attention to that stuff, because it's there's going to be times, there's going to be peaks in these markets. But again, we got to look at it is how can we deliver that long-term pricing to our customers? And one thing I literally always do every time I bid a lane, you guys, I like to look at the inverse of this, right? So what do I mean by that? I like to flip it and see, what does the outbound Omaha freight market look like? And when I had checked this one this morning, I actually texted my buddy Cody, A&Z Trucking here out of Arizona. They only do reefer freight, because I'm like, what's going on with this one, man? Because there's a massive spike. And I mean, look at that right now, right? Like this 90-day market here has like shot up like $900 compared to the year average. Yeah, public school math. Sorry, there, about $900. We'll talk in general terms. And I was like, dude, what is going on? I'm like, is the Midwest capacity that crushed out there? And he had brought it up to me. He said that the spike that is coming from this has everything to do with freeze protect with a lot of the freight. And what do I mean by that is now a lot of dry van freight that 90% of the year ships on a van is this time of year is going into freeze protect mode. So they're going to be temping the trailer at like 55, 60 degrees or whatever to keep the product from freezing, obviously. And then that is what's causing this spike. So if you're moving freight out of, I'm assuming Iowa is getting affected by this as well. And that might explain the Minnesota lane a little bit more that we were breaking down last week on this. But, you know, these are those seasonal spikes that you need to pay attention to, that you cannot let that derail your entire year. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, you should just willingly lose money on everything." That's not what I'm getting at here, you guys. But what I want you to pay attention to is this line. You never complained if you were making money on a load, right? Say $500, then you better not complain if you're losing $500 on the load to service the customer, because as somebody who is out there actively prospecting, there's not a plethora of new opportunities that are just waiting for you to come in there. So it's like, yeah, it sucks. It's pretty brutal to lose money on freight, but it's part of the game. And you got to look at it is you got to service these accounts, right? They don't need you when it's easy. Okay. They need you when things are challenging and when everybody else is dropping the ball. This is the time to shine. Okay. So this is something that, again, after reaching out to my buddy Cody, he had said it's going to taper off here soon. This is a very short-term thing. He's already seen it happen on certain areas out there. But again, this is where partnerships come into play. Everybody wants to talk partnerships when they're winning. Very few people execute when there's a rate spike and they got to go in and take a loss on a load. I would probably argue that is why we're seeing some tender rejections out there right now is due to a lot of this. People are going to refuse to lose money on loads and they're just going to reject the freight. But again, that's that opportunity. There's very few opportunities that we have in transportation to separate ourselves from our competition. And when markets get tight and when you got to, take a couple of L's on some loads here to service the account, that stands out, because if you're able to execute in a time when nobody else is, that's how you solidify those partnerships. So Nashville, Tennessee, Omaha, Nebraska, Reefer, the epitome of stability. So go out there. I would say I would feel comfortable if you're in a spot market position with your customer to keep a very stable rate here moving forward. I would also feel very comfortable on this lane moving forward to lock in some long-term pricing via RFP or contract rates, depending on how your customer operates as a whole out there. But if you want your lane featured on this, you guys, all I need you to do, email podcast@thefreightcoach.com. Okay. Mondays are drive-ins, Wednesdays are reefer, Friday is flatbed. All right. That's how we break it down. Yes, we might switch it around a couple of times due to some guests who are going to come on and help you guys break it down. But again, I'm just giving you guys my perspective on how to actually read a freight market by somebody who actually moves freight, that actually owns a freight brokerage, that has actual customers that I ship with. Okay. So that's where we're coming from. I just want to help you guys understand this, because headlines can be deceiving at times. I am not incentivized to fearmonger anybody and to make one decision or another. I am here to just kind of help you guys understand what's actually going on, so you can go out there and win some more business. Like, there's a ton of opportunities out here, you guys, and I just want to help you guys do that. So if you want in on it, email podcast@thefreightcoach.com and we will answer it live on the show here. Everything's anonymous, you guys. I like, even with my newsletter, my team handles all of this stuff. I don't even know who sends in anything. They just send me a literal lane. So that's how anonymous it is out there. But also in regards to some overall market analysis and report as well, you guys, it looks like the spot rates across the board increased, and capacity has started to tighten, and you're kind of seeing that a lot out there. I just don't think it's flipped into a full-blown bull market just yet. I want to slip that in there. Again, I'm hoping it does, right? Like, I, as the owner of Freight Coach Logistics, very much hoping that we're going to go into a bull market here, and there's going to be some time to shine with some of our customers. I always err on the side of caution when it comes down to it, because I've seen seasonal flips happen, and I have personally made the mistake of jacking up my prices to try and insulate ourselves. Then I lost the business because of it. And then the market cooled back down, and then I begged and pleaded to get the freight back. And, it didn't always work out for me. So again, I always err on the side of caution. Trust me, I will be the first one to tell you if I think it's like a level 12 emergency to go out there. I just don't see it yet. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it flips, and I hope, a lot of opportunities are going to come all of our way out there.